Hello English here again, actor, writer, autism, poet. This tutorial is on special interests. Now, people on the spectrum, like many others, can develop hobbies or special interests that can take up most of their time. I think what separates an autistic person from someone who isn't autistic is often the extent and indeed intensity of said interest. Now, these can include, but are not restricted to, computer games or video games, particularly popular these days with the advent of internet smartphones. They can also be intellectual pursuits like trains, number plates, or maps. Creative interests such as drawing or writing poetry. Also social interests, drama groups, TV films, fan clubs, cosplay. Brief sidebar, for those of you who don't know what cosplay is or are unfamiliar with it, it is simply dressing up as your favourite character from a film or television show and attending conventions or making videos of yourself in your costume. Most of these obsessions are healthy and can even be a pathway to employment or further social contact. However, there can be a downside because of the obsessional nature of an autistic person's interests. It can often lead down into some unsavoury or dark places. And unhealthy obsessions can include over-reliance on the internet for social media. Now, I always find that the internet, when it comes to social life, is very good for organising one's social life, but the danger arises when it becomes a substitute for it. And these days, with COVID and everything, we've been locked down so often, it's very hard to kind of, wean ourselves off these things, as the situation kind of forced us onto them. It's now we're starting to mix back, and again, it's very, very hard to kind of wean ourselves off these things. I think this is very, very dangerous, and it's just something to watch out for. Another dark side to the internet is voyeurism and pornography, and this in turn can lead to stalking, harassment, or criminal behaviour. And this I've got to say, statistically speaking, it affects a relative minority of autistic people, but it can happen. So it's something to watch out for, particularly if you're a support worker and you're supporting someone, just supporting an autistic person. It'd be a good thing to just examine their interests and see what can be done with them. If they're healthy, if they can be parlayed into social contact, or maybe if they're unhealthy and they maybe need to find alternative pursuits. So yeah, that's something to watch out for.